Hey there, Mike Phillips here. I am a Nina and PhD user, and one of the challenges that I've run into in automating my nightly unintended telescope sessions is when the star guiding gets lost, be it because of clouds or because of poor equipment, what have you. I just wanted a simple way to get notified, and there isn't really a quick, down and dirty way inside of the program to do it. So I'm going to show you how I accomplished it the total roundabout hardest way that you possibly could. Oh, well, here we go. All right, so I'm going to live here for a little while. I want to take your attention to the programs that you're probably most familiar with. That is the top left, PhD. That's what we're here for. I'm a Nina user, so there's going to be some options in there. Really what I wanted was the ability to get a notification from PhD that it lost the guide star or couldn't find a guide star, so that I knew to come back and give it some attention, right? You set up the whole night's worth of targets that you want to hit, and all of a sudden it can't find a star and you lost half the night. So that's no fun. Somebody on the internet took advantage of the built-in logging server that's in PhD and wrote a Python script. And we can take a look at that in the next section. But essentially what it does is it takes the Python script, telnets into the PhD logging instance, gathers up all the data, ships it and packages it over to Mosquitto MQTT. All the green arrows are local on the home local network that I run. They could be all processes on the same PC that you're running your nightly unattended telescope operations. And that in and of itself is pretty neat and cool. And it took me a little bit of hacking to share with the community how I accomplished it. Once it's in MQTT, you can do a lot of cool stuff with it. Essentially, Homeassistant piggybacks right into MQTT. It reads all of the values. I have an all-sky instance that's built into that. I have several other telescope parameters that are part of that are read through and pushed out of Nina through a plugin called Ground Station. We'll take a look at that in a later video. But once it's in Homeassistant, all the values can be seen historically. You can action upon them so that if a state transition for PhD moves from guiding to star lost, then do something, right? What that automation looks like. You can see those values in the web browser. You can also automate those directly through mobile device integrations. I don't have an Apple iOS, but it should behave the same way. I have a Google Pixel 7. Any device that integrates to your Homeassistant can receive those notifications natively. You can push high urgency ones through internet. So that's what these orange ones are here. So Pushover is another it's not an open source, but it's a free to use program that has a capped threshold, and you can send really neat sounding things and they pop into your phone's notification bar, and that also integrates to Nina. So through Ground Station and through Homeassistant, you're going to see a really cool dashboard that really kind of paints a nice little sort of heads up display that I like to use here. So this is a static image that I took, and you can see this is my driveway area where my telescope is sitting right here. You can see my all-sky camera, so you can see that there are or are not clouds. You can see sort of the guide star size. You can see all of the Nina history. You can see the event actions that take place through the web integration. So there's a lot of cool stuff. I have the filter set, so you can see the filter history. You can see here, this is the fun one that comes through the Python script, right? The guider state is guiding. You can see the signal to noise ratio. You can see the RA and DEC errors here. So a lot of cool stuff to dig into. So let's take a look at those in the next video. Hey again, let's take a look at some of the program settings that I use to get this complicated notification system for PhD off the ground. So the first thing I needed to do was to set the server enable, which on this machine, fresh out of the box installation, has the server enabled already. The next thing you'll need to do is grab the script that I will link in the description. I had to make a couple of edits. I set the MQTT username and password, so I think Mosquitto 2, that was a little older than the implementation. Python, I think, is installed by default in most Linux installations that I used. So you could probably run this on a Raspberry Pi where my Mosquitto is running, and all I did was take the off-the-shelf script that someone else wrote, and then I did a sudo apt install Mosquitto, right? Literally just that. And then I actually set it as a service too, or you can find out how to do that. But the only parameters that you need to run it or to have Python call the script, and you point it at the IP address, and this could be a local host, of the instance of the host that's running PHD, and then you point it at the IP address of the Mosquitto server. So let's take a look at what it looks like when it comes into Mosquitto. So the last thing we're going to take a look at for this particular portion of the PHD notification is essentially how to transform the Mosquitto dump that comes out of the Python script. You're probably going to want to put a little spy on it. There's a little MQTT browser that you can get for Windows. You can get, this one's easy because it's a GUI one. It's just a screenshot of a trial that I took, but essentially the script was set to write to sensors guider, and then you can sort of see all the different parameters that it writes over here. Now, when you dig into it in your Homeassistant integration, I did a static, this is my config.yaml. So each of those sensor guider is read out of the MQTT section up here, and I have a bunch of them for AllSky and the Nina integrations, which will be a different video. But if you pay attention to this section down here on the bottom, I read all of these values, and you might want to set some of them as percentage so that you can display them in Homeassistant different ways. But it grabs signal to noise ratio, guide state, and I browsed and spied all these, the HFD, the DX, the DY, and the RMS. So what does that look like in Homeassistant? In Homeassistant, you're going to see something that basically looks like this after you build the dashboard. But effectively, we want here, let's see, guider state, right? So when you add the guider state, it is added as a static entry in the config.yaml, so you can't see it here. But if you actually send it some real data, you're going to see that it's gone from, let's see, this is one of the ones I would have wanted to know about, right? Guiding to lost lock. So all night long, it's writing this to my Homeassistant via the Mosquitto integration. And all you need to do then is write a simple automation that says, when the guider state changes from guiding to lost lock, do something. And in this case, it sends a pushover alert, which I override my do not disturb. So in the middle of the night, if I actually want to get woken up, I can leave this one on, and a mobile app push. So the same way that we saw before when you look at the integration diagram, so my Homeassistant is doing both of these at the same time. So I get a double notification, and it woke me up, and it did its job. So I was able to go in and rescue the rest of the night. You can turn the automation off, you can turn it on, you can see what's going on in the home dashboard. I've really enjoyed it. This is the first time I've actually mapped it all out to see it all come together, and because it was all in my head. And when you do things a little piecemeal like this, it can be fun and a great distraction, and I enjoyed it. So I hope you guys find it useful. Let me know in the comments if you need any help or you want to see more. I'll build a Nina specific one after this one, and we'll dive into some of the dashboards. Hey Internet, hope everyone enjoyed this video as much as I did. Hope you learned something. If you did, leave a like and comment, and that would be greatly appreciated. I don't hope anything for this channel other than to educate people. I don't have enough subscribers or viewers to make it a money-making adventure. This is simply just to have fun with everyone. Take care. See you in the next one.